Oh, all righty. Good evening, commissioners, and over to you, Chair Harrington.
Well, thank you, Clerk Moss, and welcome everyone to the Tuesday, September 17th, 2024 Board of Commissioners meeting. It's a little unusual for us to have a nighttime meeting in the middle of the month, but here we are. Welcome. Clerk Moss, could you do us the official honors?
Certainly, Chair Harrington. The Washington County Board of Commissioners, also meeting as the Board of Directors for Clean Water Services and all other county service districts, is now meeting this regular session, September 17th, 2024. Commissioner Treese?
Here.
Commissioner Willie?
Here.
Commissioner Rogers?
Here.
Vice Chair Fye?
Present.
Chair Harrington.
Here. Thank you. Next on the agenda is our first of two public comment periods. This is an opportunity for members of our community to come and address the board for up to 2 minutes an individual. Clerk Moss, do we have anyone who wishes to do so this evening?
Thank you, Chair Harrington. I did not see anyone sign up in the back room. Would anyone in the auditorium wish to provide public comment for up to 2 minutes on any county-related topic? Give you just a moment to raise your hand or start coming forward. Not seeing any in the room. Would any member online wish to provide public comment for up to 2 minutes on any county-related topic? Give you just a moment to utilize raise hand function. So we have one hand, Dennis Erickson. Dennis, can you hear us? Are you able to unmute, Dennis?
What did you say?
Yep, you are unmuted.
Yeah.
Please go ahead
you
for up
hear
to
me?
2 minutes.
Good. Dennis and I are at Heather Cox Richardson's lecture at the Snitzer. We're at the Snitzer at Heather Cox Richardson's lecture on democracy awakening. And it starts, can you hear me?
Yes, it's
Can
a
you-
little low.
We have it as loud as we can here.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I'm Dale Fig, Chair of the Washington County Citizen Action Network. I already sent to you an email. I just want to quickly do a 2-minute summary of it. And I sent this to the Environmental Quality Commission, to you, Washington County Board of Commissioners, the Forest Grove Mayor and Councilors, and to Diane Taniguchi Dennis, Clean Water Service Chief of Staff. And this specifically relates to the Crane Data Center, but also data centers in general in Oregon. Because, and also I gave a link to you, relates upon what Cooper said. It was in the New York Times, and it pertains not only to Washington County, Forest Grove, it pertains to the region in Oregon. Okay. There's a revolution of artificial intelligence, a promise that's breakthrough in medical research and corporate productivity. The problem with all that is people like Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft, they're building centers over 1,000 acres of ring with guard towers and razor, whatever. And the problem is there's all kinds of problems related to noise and power. And they're overwhelming the power system. Bonneville Power, PGE, they don't have a power for all these things. So, and the Crane Data Center applied for a land use permit in Forest Grove, and I'm fighting it. And I addressed this to Diane Taniguchi Dennis because they want to use recycled water. And I know Clean Water Service wants to use their recycled water and do it first time commercially. It's a bad idea. Please stop it. Don't go along with it. It's not good. That is my comment. Thanks for listening. I'm going to a lecture. Bye.
Just for the sake of the public, Mr. Feek has spoken to us several times about the Crane Data Center application that is within the city of Forest Grove. The Washington County Board of Commissioners has no standing with regard to the siting of that data center within the city of Forest Grove, and thus far that business has not made any overtures to ask for any particular special service from Clean Water Services. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Harrington. Would any other person online wish to provide public comment for up to 2 minutes? Give you just one more moment to raise hand function. Not seeing any additional hands. Chair Harrington.
Thank you, Clerk Moss. Next, we'll move on to tonight's consent agenda, which consists of 16 items, 2 sets of minutes, 2 items for Clean Water Services, 3 items from Human Resources, 1 item from Health and Human Services, 1 item from the Cooperative Library Services, 6 items from Land Use and Transportation, and 1 item from Housing Services. What are the wishes of the commission?
Move for approval.
Second.
All those in favor of adopting tonight's consent agenda, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. Next, we'll move on to our 3 items for boards and commissions. The first one is to announce vacancies on various county boards and commissions. These are various vacancies that are available for recruitment through the end of October 29th specifically, or until all vacancies are filled. There's the Advisory Council on Racial Equity, Aging and Veteran Services Advisory Council, the Audit Committee, the Civil Service Commission, the Columbia Pacific Economic Development District, also known as COLPAC, the Development Disabilities Council, the Enhanced Sheriff Patrol District, and Combined Urban Road Maintenance District Budget Committee, the Fair Board, the Fairgrounds Development Advisory Committee, the Garbage and Recycling Advisory Committee, the Homeless Solutions Advisory Council, the Housing Advisory Committee, also known as HAC, the Metzger Park Local Improvement District Advisory Board, the North Bethany County Service District for Roads Budget Committee, the Planning Commission, the Public Health Advisory Council, the Public Safety Coordinating Council, also known as PSCC, the Rainbow Lane Special Road District Board, the Rural Roads Operation and Maintenance Advisory Committee, also known as ROMAC, the Urban Road Maintenance District Advisory Committee, also known as URMDAC, the Washington County and Service District for Lighting Number 1 Budget Committee, and lastly, the Washington County Salary Commission. These different committees have different responsibilities, so we hope that you will take a look and follow your interests. We very much appreciate members of our community volunteering their time and expertise to advise our staff as well as the commission. And different committees are only very short in duration, and other ones meet throughout the year, some monthly, some quarterly, some just as needed. So we hope you'll take a look. So those are the announcements, and you can find more information on the Washington County website, washingtoncountyor.gov. Onward to the next one. This is an opportunity to reappoint Mark Cooper to the Washington County Audit Committee for a term ending on June 30th, 2027. What are the wishes of the commission?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. And we also have the Clean Water Services Advisory Commission. This is a really cool committee because they advise us on all kinds of programs and policies with regard to wastewater management and stormwater runoff all throughout the Tualatin River watershed. So tonight we have an item to appoint Glenn Fee to the Clean Water Services Advisory Commission, also known as CWAC, to the Environment 1 position, and Rebecca Shell Kanarek to the District 1 position, both for terms expiring in September 2028. 2028. Wow. Whew, this decade's marching along. Do we have a motion to appoint said members?
So moved.
Do we have one of those as a second? I do, second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of this appointment? Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. Once again, thanks to our great community members. Next, we're on to proclamations. We have the opportunity to proclaim September 26, 2024 as World Environmental Health Day. And towards that end, we have some subject matter experts on this. So I'm going to turn it right over to you.
Thank you so much, Chair Harrington, Board of County Commissioners. Good evening. Assalamu alaikum. Hello. My name is Noor Dalan. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Assistant Director for Health and Human Services. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here this evening, and I'm so excited to introduce our speakers, Kathleen Johnson and Jillian Powell, for the proclamation this evening. Jillian Powell is our Registered Environmental Health Specialist 2, and Kathleen Johnson is our Community Environmental Health Senior Program Coordinator. Both of these talented team members work within our environmental health program in public health, and public health is a division within Health and Human Services. So this evening, they'll be sharing a few slides, going over some important information and asking you to proclaim September 26, 2024 as World Environmental Health Day, and I'll pass it over to them.
Great. Thank you so much. Good evening, Chair Harrington and Board of County Commissioners. Thank you for having us here tonight. As Nora said, my name is Kathleen Johnson. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve Washington County as a Senior Program Coordinator in our Public Health Division. And accompanying me tonight is Jillian Powell, an Environmental Health Specialist, also with our Public Health Division, who will be reading the proclamation. And we both are joined by many members of our environmental health team, as well as our colleagues that also support our climate adaptation planning work too. So if they want to give a wave, they're in the back.
Thanks for joining
We're a mighty
us.
team. So thank you for having us. We are here today to request your board, serving as the governing body of the local public health authority, to join with other jurisdictions across the globe in declaring the 26th of September as World Environmental Health Day. I think, so I do this, right? Okay, great. So this proclamation this evening gives us an opportunity to acknowledge the work our environmental health workforce in the Public Health Division does every single day here in Washington County to keep our community safe, healthy. It also serves as an opportunity to celebrate and recognize the collaboration between county staff, county departments, community partners, and other jurisdictions to be more effective in this work, and recognize the ongoing efforts to build community resilience to environmental threats like climate change. This work is key to a statewide effort to modernize our local public health system. As many of us know, and some of us experience, climate change impacts many aspects of our lives, health and well-being. The graphic that you see before you highlights those connections and some of the ways communities in Washington County are already experiencing the effects of climate change. For example, now that we've just finished our summer season, we are seeing a greater number of extreme heat days, often resulting in higher rates of emergency room and urgent care visits, as well as hospitalizations, and in some severe events, deaths as well. But there are things that we can do, and we are doing, and the proclamation does help acknowledge that. But here, just briefly for the public's benefit, I have included some links to resources on our county web pages where they can understand more about the health impacts of climate change here in Washington County. Also understanding how our environment is connected to our health through this really great interactive tool that we have. And then we are always updating our web pages with resources where people are able to find, we're able to access to help their family during climate events, whether that's information or access to financial resources through the Oregon Health Authority and other organizations for cooling resources, air filtration resources, all of that good stuff. So some links there, and I will hand it over to Jillian to read the proclamation.
Thank you. Very excited to be here today. I have the honor of reading the proclamation in honor of the World Environmental Health Day, which will be September 26th of 2024. Whereas each year, organizations across the globe observe World Environmental Health Day by celebrating one of the largest fields of practice in public health environmental health, and the impact the practice has through protecting communities from environmental health threats like climate change, air pollution, vector, food, and waterborne illnesses. This year's theme, Creating Resilient Communities Through Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change Mitigation and Adaptation, acknowledges the work the environmental health professionals do every day to keep our communities safe and healthy, and the role they have in reducing the threat climate change poses to the living and health conditions for all humans across the globe. Today, Washington County will take the opportunity to recognize the work for our environmental health professionals and our partners that support and foster resilience in our community and to help to reduce the risks and impact of climate change where we live. Whereas Washington County acknowledges the impact climate change currently has and will continue to have it on our community, most notably as we experience more days of extreme heat and increased risk of wildfires and wildfire smoke pollution. Whereas Washington County understands the importance of climate-ready public health system, one that is fully equipped to keep our community safe, informed, and healthy under the rapid changing environmental conditions of the 21st century. With this understanding, Washington County is already prioritizing climate adaptations and building resilient communities through our ongoing climate planning work and acknowledges the importance of continuing to identify new and innovative strategies with partners to support community resilience. Whereas Washington County highlights the role of environmental health in supporting a healthy community through a range of interventions needed to keep Washington County safe and healthy every day and also address the impacts of climate change events, including some of the following aspects of work: providing inspection and prevention services for food safety, public pools and spas, childcare providers, and tourist accommodations, controlling and preventing mosquito-borne illnesses, managing wastewater and ensuring safe drinking water, monitoring environmental health data and trends to inform interventions, addressing the public health impacts of climate change and air pollution, and working with partners to create healthy and resilient built environments. Whereas Washington County celebrates the collaboration and leadership of county departments, community partners, and neighboring jurisdictions in supporting healthy environments and implementing climate adaptation and mitigation efforts to create a safe, healthy, and livable Washington County. Whereas all people, regardless of race, gender, income, sexual orientation, gender identity, ability, or national origin, have a right to safe, healthy, and livable community. Washington County acknowledges the importance of centering communities most impacted, including Black and Indigenous peoples, communities of color, older adults, children, and people experiencing physical, developmental, and intellectual disabilities in our work to address environmental health threats and the effects of climate change events. Whereas Washington County is committed to continuing to support healthy environments and a resilient Washington County through a human-centered approach and strong community partnerships and collaboration. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on this 17th day of September 2024, the Washington County Board of Commissioners does hereby proclaim September 26, 2024 as World Environmental Health Day and calls on our community to use this as an opportunity to recognize the important work and the workforce who support healthy environments and the ongoing work to continue to strengthen our resilience as a community.
Thank you. I appreciate your reading that so clearly. There's a lot packed in there. So,
That as she was reading, I was like, we really got a lot in there.
so commissioners, what are your wishes with regard to a motion to proclaim September 26, 2024 in honor of World Environmental Health Day?
I'd like to move that we do that, and thank you very much for the presentation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously 5-0. And we would like to memorialize the opportunity by having a photo opportunity. So the three of you, as well as any of your colleagues who would like to join us up here to recognize the occasion, please do join us.
again? Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
I can take the picture.
Oh, it's all right.
I'm already taking a picture. You want me to take it?
I've got it, really.
All right,
I
you
appreciate it, though. All right, everyone ready? No. It's all good, really. Okay, let's have everyone bunch up a bit more where you can. All right. Ready, everyone? 3, 2, 1. Okay, a few more.
Smile, John.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Everyone say cheese. Cheese. Wonderful. Thank you all so much. Oh, yeah, sure. All right, amazing. Thank you all.
Okay, next we're going to move on to public hearings. And the next one is with regard to a new neighborhood that would like to be added to the County Service District for Lighting, number 1 district. And so we'll turn it over to Director Stephen Roberts from Land Use and Transportation.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. As you said, this is a neighborhood-initiated request for street lighting. We don't process a whole lot of these. You're accustomed to seeing new developments all the time, but this one was initiated by our community members. So I will just walk through very briefly some of the. Click twice. Sorry. The proposal here, and so the requirement is that at least 50% or more than 50% of the affected property owners need to sign on to a petition requesting the street lighting, and then subsequently as well the formation of an assessment area, because the street lighting is actually paid for by assessments on property tax bills throughout the urban unincorporated parts of the county. There were 6 petitions required in order to achieve the 50%, or actually exceed the 50%, and 7 signatures and petitions were received, so we're over the 50%. The proposal is for 4 new lights that would be placed on existing utility poles and benefiting 11 tax lots that would pay for the service. The assessment initially would be $30.84. As a part of our normal routine practice, we also establish a maximum potential assessment that is twice the minimum, and that's simply to provide space so that as energy costs and maintenance costs increase over time, we have the ability to make incremental adjustments upward in the minimum assessment. In order to stop the formation of the assessment area tonight, your board would need to receive at least 6 written or spoken remonstrances before the close of your public hearing tonight. We have had comments provided from 3 community members, the affected residents. One I would categorize as specifically opposed to the formation of the assessment area. The other 2 with concerns around the potential impact of the lighting on their residences. So as a means to try to help alleviate some of those concerns, we've agreed to proactively provide shields on all of the new street lighting to try to help minimize the potential for spillback on the adjacent residences. This is just a quick map. The area that's affected is a portion of Southwest 195th Street and a street called Southwest Jan Court, Jann, and it's just north of Johnson Street in the Aloha area. And the recommendation from staff is to conduct the public hearing. After the hearing, staff does recommend formation of the assessment area and the installation of the new street lighting as proposed.
Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Commissioners, do any of you have any questions for him at this time on the staff report?
I do.
Go ahead.
Was this essentially a safety issue, just to provide better lighting in the neighborhood? Is that why they were doing this?
I'm not sure what the initial genesis of the request is, to be honest with you. I think it oftentimes comes down to just public safety generally.
Yeah, they just want better lighting on their streets. And, yeah, okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
All righty. Well, seeing no further questions, I would like to open a public hearing. Clerk Moss, is there anyone who wishes to address us?
Yes, we do, Madam Chair. We have Mark Bradley. Mark?
Pretty well. Welcome, Mr. Bradley. Thank you for joining us this evening.
I got lots of things that they should get added to the project. Question is this one. Do you think we can make it happen possible?
If you leave that with Clerk Moss, we'll be able to take a look at it.
We should make downtown Beaverton one-way street on Farmington and Canyon from Beaverton High School to Highway 217, because it's a safety issue and causes a lot of traffic congestion. Can we permanently eliminate all railroad crossings on tribal property 100% to be grade separated bridges only? Safety is an important thing. Gotta save lives and haste congestion. And question with the traffic signal, they should all get matched with the headers. Of course, we're looking into 185th and Baseline first because it's a horrible intersection. And we should elevate with elevator and stairs and ramps to the parking garage or something. And 185th and Evergreen, I think we need to add a second through one on Evergreen portion 185th. And the right and right outside the shopping center, and to relocate traffic signal next to Chase Bank for safety. And Raleigh Hills and Sasbar Lawn Road is also dangerous intersection too. They should move the intersection or put a roundabout or bell bridges. Next is downtown Hillsboro. Do you think we should build a brand new bypass in the future? Something to show you on the iPad.
Okay. Yep.
Starting points with Beaverton.
Thank you very much, sir. The time for your public testimony has come to an end. I appreciate your comments with regard to the 185th overcrossing of the light rail. And we have heard your testimony tonight, and that will apply to the item G1. For the large project grant. This public hearing is about the service district for lighting proposal around Jan Court. Do you have any testimony that is specific to the Jan Court neighborhood?
Jan Court neighborhood? Of course. We start taking out the greenhouses nursery for more space of houses. They need to make room for building light rail bridges of great separation.
Okay.
like north side.
Well, thank you very much for your testimony this evening.
You're welcome.
Clerk Moss, do we have anyone else?
I did not see anyone else in the room. Would any member online wish to provide public comment as the staff report, as you've heard from Director Roberts? Just give you a moment to utilize the raise hand function. Not seeing any additional hands.
Thank you. And with that, I'd like to close this public hearing and ask for a motion to form the Southwest Jan Court Assessment Area within the Service District Lighting Number 1 Service District and authorize the maximum annual assessment and impose the first-year assessments. What are the wishes of the commission?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Next, we'll move on to our action items, and Director Roberts is back again. And here we have a proposal for a new, welcome, Jessica. Thank you. I'll let them do their formal announcements, but we created a new project fund in the Major Streets Transportation Investment Program, the Large Project Match Fund, and they're here today with our first ever project application. So please take it away.
Thank you, Commissioners. Jessica Pells, LUT Policy Analyst, for the record. Yes, this is our first one. We're so excited. So we thought it would be great to have an action item and come up and be able to describe it. Oh, there. I was a little fast on it. Okay. So we prepared a presentation to just go over the action, a brief summary of the new MSTIP Large Project Match allocation for those who don't know about it yet, and then an overview of the project being requested. So the requested action is for your board to authorize a $750,000 expenditure from the Major Streets Transportation Improvement Program Large Project Match Fund. This is for City of Hillsborough grant applications for project development and design of the 185th Avenue Light Rail Overcrossing project. Of course, this was one of, I think, 5 projects that we had on the list that your board approved as part of the MSTIP 3F funding allocation, along with 170th Avenue, Basalt Creek Parkway Extension, Beaverton, Hillsdale, Olson, Shoals intersection, and Farmington Road. We wrote in the MSTIP administrative procedures that the process for approving expenditures from this fund would be similar to MSTIP Opportunity Fund, but would have a Board of County Commissioners review and approval at the end. So I also wanted to say here that the idea for this funding bucket was to be able to leverage large federal and state grant. This is a pretty small expenditure in the scheme of a $30 million bucket. However, we think that if this project were funded for project development and design, then the next ask would be much more substantial because it would be a construction ask. So the total project is pretty large. They're estimating it $108 million, and that's including all project development, design, right-of-way, and construction. And so the issues prompting this project development are that MAX trains, and the next page has a picture that might be better here. So MAX trains have priority east-west movement, which means they stop traffic at the signal at Baseline and 185th. This can cause congestion and backups. This is only expected to increase with the Max Better Red project that recently opened. So this picture shows the proposed solution, which would be to build a bridge to create an overcrossing for the MAX train so that traffic, pedestrian, vehicle, bus, and vehicle traffic could flow more freely on 185th. So City of Hillsborough proposes to apply for 2 grant opportunities. That is the Metro Regional Flexible Fund Allocation Step 1 bond program. That's under development right now and will be considered by JPACT in the coming months. Actually, I think through 2025, maybe middle of 2025. They're also applying for a Federal Rail Administration Railroad Crossing Elimination Grant. So they're really trying to spread it out and just get as much opportunities as possible for this funding. So Hillsborough is proposing to match the $750,000 in city funds. So this large project match request has the potential to leverage nearly $13 million in other funding, which would be an amazing start for this program. The WCCC TAC recommended approval to the WCCC at their meeting on September 5th. The WCCC considered the request at their meeting yesterday on September 16th and did recommend that your board approve the funding request. If approved by your board, the $750,000 would be earmarked in Fund 362 for potential expenditure. The expenditure would be contingent on successful grant award to the City of Hillsborough. And if the grant application is unsuccessful, the funds will remain available and they'd be freed up again in the fund. So circling back to the requested action is for your board to authorize the $750,000 Major Streets Transportation Improvement Program Large Project Match Fund allocation for the 2 City of Hillsborough grant applications for project development and design of the Southwest 185th Avenue Light Rail Overcrossing project.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Seeing none, I would just like to note that we did hear testimony from Mr. Mark Bradley indicating support for the overcrossing project. So, thank you. So with that, Commissioners, do we have a motion to authorize $750,000 of Major Streets Transportation Improvement Program MISTIP Large Project Grant Match Fund allocation for these 2 City of Hillsborough grant applications?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously, 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. Now I managed to misplace my agenda. Oh, I'll find it. There it is. Next, we have our second public comment period of this evening. This is an opportunity for members of our community to come and speak to us for up to 5 minutes an individual. Clerk Moss, do we have anyone who wishes to do so?
I did not see anyone in the auditorium sign up. Would any member in the auditorium wish to provide public comment for up to 5 minutes for any calendar topic? Raise your hand or start coming forward. Not seeing any in the room. We had one member online, Mr. Jim Long. Jim, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, please go ahead for up to 5 minutes.
I've decided not to speak tonight, but instead will speak in 2 weeks. I might come by and provide some information for you, but I am not prepared to speak tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. Would any other member online wish to provide public comment for up to 5 minutes on any counter-related topic? Give you just a moment to utilize raise hand function. Not seeing any other hands. Chair Harrington.
All righty. So then that brings us to our board announcements section of this meeting. So I'll just start with the usual of upcoming board meetings. Next week, we will not be having Board of Commissioner meetings. Then on Monday, September 30th, we're having a special meeting, a joint meeting of the Board of Commissioners and the Washington County mayors, many of whom participate on the Washington County Coordinating Committee on the Major Streets Transportation Investment Program, also known as MISTIP. So that is a special meeting that will be happening here at the Public Services Building starting at 1 p.m. right in our work session room. Then we're into the month of October. Oh my goodness. Halloween will be here before we know it. On Tuesday, October 1st, we will have our trifecta of meetings. We'll start our work session at 9 a.m. Bless you. Pause that. And then convene as the Housing Authority Board of Directors. Then after that, we'll convene the board meeting. And then after all of that, we will reconvene the work session. Certainly no later than after the lunch break at about 1 p.m. On Thursday, October 3rd, we'll have our monthly roundtable meeting starting at 9 a.m., and those usually go all day. The following Tuesday, October 8th, work session only day starting at 9 a.m. Tuesday, October 15th, 2024, we have a work session starting in the morning. We'll pause that, have our board meeting at 10 o'clock, and then after that, reconvene to work session. Then Tuesday, October 22nd, is our last set of meetings for the month of October. Work session in the afternoon starting at 1 p.m. and a board meeting at 6:30 p.m., just like tonight. Are there any other announcements that board members would like to make? Ms. Angie, we needed to impinge on leadership communication earlier today, so as well as for Ms. Duke-Dreesen from County Council. So I just wanted to check in and see if there's anything you wanted to make sure you shared today.
Yes, I do. And my message is still loading of the details that I want to share because it's about elections. So, Courtney, are you ready for yours?
Give me 1 second. Let me just pull up. I just wanted to alert. It is now. Thank you, Chair Harrington. I'm used to the work session room where it's always on. Thank you. I just wanted to let your board know that Washington County prevailed at the Court of Appeals in a case that is known as Sipple versus Washington County, and that is a case that is actually arises out of a public records appeal, but related to records related to our election system. So I just wanted to let you know that there is one more step in possible litigation, but it's good news for elections as we move towards November.
So I'm going to stay on the elections track. As you have likely heard, there were approximately 306 people, registered voters, who are likely to be ineligible voters. The DMV mistakenly registered some without documentation of citizenship. Washington County Elections received a list from the Oregon Secretary of State with 95 records to review. So of the 306, 95 were referred to Washington County to review. The county has identified one of those records as a citizen. The Elections Division was not able to verify citizenship for the other 94 records. These 94 records were inactivated within our system, so that means they will not be allowed to vote. The Elections Division is reaching out to those individuals to gather more information on their citizenship status. If the Elections Division determines they are not citizens, these registrations will be canceled. None of the presumed non-citizens have cast a ballot within Washington County. I share this information to lift up the integrity that we have within our elections system here in Washington County, as well as across the state of Oregon. And so, continuing that theme of elections, today is National Voter Registration Day. Clackamas, Marion, Multnomah, Washington, and Yamhill counties have pulled together to help encourage Oregonians to take a few moments to get the vote ready for the November 2024 general election. Our communications team is pushing out information about getting voters to check their voter registration status on OregonVotes.org. That's OregonVotes.org to check your voter registration status. 2, sign up for ballot tracking service like Ballot Tracks. I highly recommend Ballot Tracks. You can track your own ballot from when you put it in ballot box or through the postal service. It's really great. 3, make a plan to vote. More information can be found on Washington County's website. And by the way, our elections manager, Dan Forrester, and assessment and taxation director, Joe Nelson, plan to provide your board another update on elections operations in a couple weeks at your October 1st meeting. And that concludes my update.
Ms. Angie, do you happen to recall what is the last day that people can register to vote for the November election?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot.
I have this recollection that it's somewhere around the middle of October, but I don't know for sure.
My Google search is not working fast enough.
Commissioner Willie is using Siri to try and find the answer. No, you're not talking to your computer.
October 15th, online or in person.
October 15th. So, folks, please make sure that you use OregonVotes.com to check your registration. If you are not comfortable that your signature, as you would write it today, might match your signature when you signed that signature card ages ago, feel free to reach out to our elections office or stop by. They're very helpful people, and they will gladly put a new signature on file. And many of us on the commission have signed up for ballot tracks, and we highly recommend it. So, great peace of mind to know that your ballot's been processed. So, but please, if you're at all unsure about your registration, please do check it out. And if you've never registered to vote, do feel free to do so by October 15th. So, are there any other announcements for this evening's meeting?
I'd just like to point out.
Oops, Mike.
I think it's OregonVotes.gov.
OregonVotes.gov.
I went to .com. I went to .com and it's not the right.
Okay, OregonVotes.gov. Thank you, Commissioner Treese. All righty, I think that's it for tonight's meeting. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please vote by raising your hand or saying aye. Thank you, Commissioners. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously, 5-0. Thanks for joining us. Good night.